Seditionist, because you want to change your government. And I say, bring it on. Because as John related to us, our founding fathers gave us a basis for being seditionists, and it was the ballot box. We have the right, we have the ability, we have the responsibility to change our country. And folks, we can complain all we want about what's happening in Washington today. We can complain all we want about who voted for what. But until we look in the mirror and come to grips with our culpability in what's happening today, we will not be successful. Are you ready to accept responsibility for that? You know, John talked about the Declaration, and the other day we had a tea party at the state capitol where we had Michael Reagan speak, and I shared with people because it's very, very difficult for us to keep up with things, particularly when we get bombarded with falsehoods from the mainstream media, right? One of the things that we lose sight of is our rights. You know, we think about all of our rights, but we let the media kind of shape that for us. For example, on the First Amendment, you know, the First Amendment says Congress shall make no law respecting an establishment of religion, or prohibiting the free exercise thereof, or abridging the freedom of speech or of the press. Right? Now, you think that's where the First Amendment ends, don't you? Because that's where the mainstream media leaves off. They don't want you to know the rest of it, because the rest of it says, or the right of the people peaceably to assemble and to petition the government for redress of their grievances. Welcome to your First Amendment rights here today. There are too many people who believe, particularly in Washington, that states are a creation of the federal government and that we are servants of the federal government. And they've got exactly opposite. We, the people, created states. We, the people's created states, create the federal government, and we have to hold them responsible. Are you ready to do that? Again, we haven't been doing a very good job, but we have an opportunity to do that. There's a great awakening. They've awoken the sleeping giants, and we have that opportunity to step up. The question that everybody's going to be looking to see if it's answered in November is, will we? Will we step up? Will we answer the call? Tea parties are great gatherings. We come here and hopefully we hear things that inspire us and hear things that get us motivated. But unless we do something about it, it's just another event. Right. Are you ready to do something about it? Okay, as John said, I'm the state director of Americans for Prosperity. We're a grassroots organization. Occasionally somebody makes the mistake of introducing me as a community organizer. I said, no, I'm a grassroots organizer. I said, well, what's the difference? I said, well, a community organizer wants more government, and they want more of your money to pay for it. A grassroots organizer wants less government and get out of my life except to build my roads, to protect me in the national defense, and that's your job. So now, I am going to give you about 4 things you can do. I hope you do all 4. But if you don't do all 4, at least do 1, 2, as many. Let's start first with, you may have heard about the federal government doing something about taking over our health control bill. Well, you know, a number of attorney generals across the country are suing for their state sovereignty against the federal government. And our own lieutenant governor, he's not the attorney general, our lieutenant governor is planning to bring the lawsuit because our attorney general won't. But the other day we unveiled a website. Here's your first action. So you either, I hope you brought your mental notepads, if you didn't bring paper and pencil, because I want you to go, I need you to go, Missouri needs you to go to this website, www.modeservesmore.com. www.modeservesmore.com. Missouri deserves more. You go to there, you sign the petition. We're going to tell the Attorney General he works for us, not for the government. Get on, do that, take that action. We've heard already spoken about November is coming. You believe that? Where are those signs? Some of these folks have some signs up here. November is coming. All right? NovemberIsComing.com. Go to NovemberIsComing.com and you go there and you sign that petition. And here's what you're signing when you sign that petition online at NovemberIsComing.com. You're telling your elected officials that I will vote no on you if you voted yes for the takeover of health care. I will vote no on you if you vote yes to a cap-and-trade energy tax or fail to stop any related EPA regulation. I will vote no on you if you vote yes to any more bailouts or failed government stimulus. And I will vote no if you fail to stop any attempts to regulate the internet. You can do it. NovemberIsComing.com. NovemberIsComing.com. Get on board. Get it done. There's a petition drive out here. It's called Let Voters Decide. Let voters decide. Sounds great, doesn't it? And it is great because what the petition is going to do is put on the ballot so that everyone in Missouri gets to decide two things. The first thing is St. Louis and Kansas City has what's known as an earnings tax. So while all of us pay 6% on our income, everybody who lives or works in Kansas City or St. Louis pays 1% more. They pay 7%. That's a drag on our whole economy because the cities generate a lot of money. We need to let the people of those cities decide periodically whether that's a good thing to do and have them vote on it. Let the voters decide. St. Louis has not voted on this since 1954, folks. And yet the city has gone from almost 1 million in population at that time to about 300,000, and it's a lot to do with their fiscal policy. So you say, well, okay, I don't live in St. Louis, and I don't live in Kansas City, so what? Well, it affects us economically all across the state. But the second part that will really interest you is the fact that it will prohibit any city from implementing an earnings tax anywhere. All right. Now I know how conservative this area is. And you're saying, many of you are saying, yeah, but that's never going to happen here. 18 months ago, would you have considered that what is happening now in Washington would be happening? No. You have the opportunity with Let the Voters Decide to put this on the ballot in November and then let the people decide. So sign that petition over there. They're great folks, and do that. The last thing that I want to talk to you about is that what Melanie mentioned, and that is the Missouri Jobs and Prosperity Act, SDR 29, the state fair tax. Eliminate the income tax, replace it with a consumption tax. You decide how much you want to pay by what you spend. You don't let the government decide how much they're going to let you keep. Folks, we cannot enjoy sovereignty, we cannot enjoy freedom as long as the government is making those decisions for us, and we need to get the government out of our pockets and back to basics of limited government. And the Missouri Jobs and Prosperity Act would do that. It would create, the projections are, it would create, by eliminating the income tax in the state of Missouri, 20,000 new jobs a year every year. Folks, I don't care how many stimulus bills you have, how many taxes you raise, jobs, real jobs created by the private sector, not the government, is the answer to our economic woes, and this will do it. So you need to contact your local representatives, your local senators about SJR 29, about the Missouri Jobs and Prosperity Act, and encourage them to support it. So let me wrap up. I heard somebody said the other day, in closing, with one of the, I think it was the Governor Kinder, in closing is some of the sweetest words the crowd's ever heard. But Michael Reagan was with us the other day, as I mentioned, and he said something that I thought was very important and very key. These tea parties, these gatherings, it's not a Republican movement. It's not a Democrat movement. It's not even an independent movement. It's the people's movement. And folks, the only way that these gatherings, this movement fails is if we fail to do what we know is right. If we fail to elect people who understand that they work for we the people, not they the government. It's our job, folks. It's our job to do it. And to that end, let me close with something Ronald Reagan said. And he said, if you can't make them see the light, make them feel the heat. November's coming, folks. November's coming. Thank you.